Good morning. Backcountry Amateur Radio here. Part 2, the Bluetooth programming for the Radioddity GS-5B. I spent a little time with the app, getting to know it, trying to figure out its quirks, and helping to make your experience with this a bit easier.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get the app on your phone. So I have an iPhone, and go to radioddity.com, and you find the page for the new GS-5B. Scroll down here and use your scanning app to these barcodes, Android or iOS, whatever phone you have, and it'll take you through the process. iOS is using, I believe, what's called Test Flight. And so look for that, open up Test Flight, and then you'll see the Radioddity app. And that is going to go over here, and that Test Flight app is kind of the shell. There's the Radioddity app right there. So once you get that loaded, just open her up. I'm not even going to pair the radio yet. I'm going to just take advantage of a minute here and show you kind of the functionality of this. When you do go to connect, you just press connect. You can navigate menu stuff here, program, and you can kind of preset stuff, which is kind of fun. But I do want to load into the app all of the settings that I've programmed on the radio before I start to program a whole bunch of stuff. But I definitely did want to show you this, because as you go through here, you hit channel, hit frequency, and this actually changes the bands. So that top and bottom band that you see on your radio, you can change the settings for that. You can change the default CTCSS, the default step, wide, narrow band, and then the same with the B band. And so that's kind of fun. But obviously I have mine currently set, or this app is currently set as a fresh unused default at 440 and a 146. So kind of 2 meter and 70 centimeter. So when you enter the VFO mode on the radio, that's what it will default to. So let's go up here to optional. Optional. And this is just other settings. So definitely take a look at them. I don't change a whole lot of stuff here. I'm not even sure what the battery save thing really does. I changed the backlight thing to 30 seconds, I believe, on mine, because it did come in a little bit shorter than that. Anyway, let's go back to channel here for a second, because I want to show you something really fun. When you go up to case list, we've got two different profiles I've created, just for example. So profile 1, channel 0 is 14718. This is a local repeater on top of the Snowbird Ski Resort. I'm going to just call that Snowbird. And done. Make sure you go down here and actually click save. Replace existing setting. And you actually have to choose your setting. And in this case, it's 1. Save. So now that that's done, and it's got a name to it, all that, you can go back up to the case list, hit 2. There we go, 2. Notice that channel 0 is 1472. So this is actually a different repeater, really close frequency, but CTSC, the PL tone or CTCSS is different. You can create multiple channel profiles. So I could have under 1, which is just what I named it. You can name them whatever you want. I could have 128 channels programmed, and then under 2, I could create another set of 128 different channels, and then I could create more profiles. And that's what's so cool. Case list, add program. Okay, so let's get this thing paired with the radio, or the phone, with the app. Notice how the Bluetooth is on up there by the battery. But I do want to show you in the menu that is there. You just go into menu and Bluetooth, make sure it's on. And there you go. Now that that's set, you don't have to do anything more with the radio, just leave it on. With the app, I'm going to simply press connect. It comes up as walkie-talkie. Press connect. Pretty quick. This next part takes a second. So you want to hit read. This pulls the data over from the radio to the phone. So first thing I want to do is click save. And we'll call this a new setting. This is going to be radio, just for kicks. Called that radio. So now I can go back up to case list, and you can see now I've got 1, 2, and radio. Let's go back into radio. And notice how it doesn't have a natural offset. You have to program your offset. You're actually programming the input and output frequencies for your repeater if you are doing a repeater. So in this case, I need to know that the Snowbird repeater input is 14778. So that when I listen to it, I get the 14718. So this is a positive offset. And this is something, if you're a new ham, you need to make sure you get this figured out. If this was a negative offset, let's go here and change this up. You need to make sure that you had that correct and you went minus, so 147.18 minus 0.6 megahertz. So I'd be putting in the smaller number, so it'd actually be 146.58. So just be aware of that when you're programming your repeaters on this radio in this app. Now I'm just going to go back and leave that because there's nothing wrong with it. Programming your PL tones, you just make sure you get the right one, or else you're not going to be able to key the repeater. Now this is where it looks like you can change the programming power setting. And you can also, if you know that that's a radio frequency that's always going to be active and you don't really want to scan it when you add it to your scan, you can scan off. You can turn the busy lockout off. Basically what that does is it prevents you from transmitting if there's something being received on that frequency. And also the send allow, I think this is important because if you're using this radio, because it does have wide range as a scanner, and say you're listening to a weather, like a 162 point whatever megahertz, you want to make sure that you are not transmitting on that frequency, so turn the send allow off. This just prevents you from transmitting when you shouldn't. So I have to fix that. I know my PL tone is 100, not 97.4 for that repeater. So next, if I feel like I want to add more to this, I can start going through the different channel numbers. Wilson Peak's already programmed in there. What's under number 5? Nothing's in number 5. So let's do maybe a different frequency. Let's just make up a repeater. So I'm going to make this up. Made up is the name of that repeater. Again, 10-digit alphanumeric. And I'm going to call this the 145.56. And it's going to have a positive offset. So the 0.6 megahertz again is your typical VHF or 2-meter repeater offset. So that means my if this is positive, my transmit needs to offset to 146.16. There we go. Okay, so now that I have that done, those are my offsets programmed. I just need to make sure that my imaginary repeater has the tone that's set in. This tone on this imaginary repeater is 136.5. Now, as with all repeaters, it's very rare that you need to program a receive frequency, but sometimes you do, so that is there if you need to do that. And now what I'm going to do is save it, replace existing setting, select the existing setting, and that's radio. So saved. After I've done programmed all my radio frequencies, I can go back and I can select radio, and then I can write that back to the radio. But let's go back in here to program one more time. Let's go to channel 6, because channel 6 is empty. And it does have a stock setting in there. I want to show you how to program a simplex, because it's very simple. You just need to know how to do it. So I'm going to put in the national calling frequency. Simplex has the same transmit and receive frequency. That's the nature of simplex. So just make sure these frequencies are the same. You don't usually employ tones or continuous tone coded squelch system or digital coded squelch. You don't use that. Scan allow on, send allow on, busy lockout, probably not. Transmit power, simplex usually is a little higher, but that's okay. And then we can save that again, replace existing setting, back to the radio. That way, that is on the radio. So that is the simple nature of this app. It's so straightforward. What I want to do now is write. As soon as that's done writing to the radio, we can go back and start just using the radio with the new programming. But since I have multiple profiles, if I'm going somewhere out of town, I can create a profile called Colorado and put in all those repeaters and the simplex frequencies that are used there. I can create a profile for Utah and put in all those repeaters and the simplex frequencies that are used there. It's a really, really cool app. Okay, here we are back at the radio, and just want to show you the channels that we programmed. Obviously, the Snowbird one's there, the Farnsworth one, the National Calling, Wilson Peak, which is in here twice. But here's the two that we did. Here's my simplex one, 14556. That's made up. And you can see that it's got my positive offset because that's how we programmed it in the app. So, and then coming over here, we've got the simplex that we programmed into channel 6. So I know right now that the profile in this radio is the radio profile that it created on the app. I'm hoping that that was really helpful for you as far as using the app, getting it on the phone, but it is really easy to figure out. As long as you keep in mind your repeater offsets. I only showed how to do repeater offsets for VHF. You do need to make sure you're doing the proper repeater offsets for UHF.
Okay guys, that's it for that video. Bluetooth programming, what can I say? It's really easy. They did a really good job with the app. And I will say, when you're trying to create new profiles, you need to make sure you go into the case list menu first if you're trying to add more profiles, or add program as it's called. But I really like this radio. The keypad programming is super straightforward and very easy. The Bluetooth programming, again, is very easy. So if you're a new ham, I would recommend this radio. It's $100 with that coupon code that's in the description, which I hope you'll take advantage of if you do want to get a Radioddity product. We'll save you $15 from Radioddity, and that could be a shoulder or speaker mic. So anyhow, I really, really think this is fun. I'm going to do another couple of videos, I think, with this thing. The Radioddity GS-5B is pretty handy, but I really do want to get into some of the nuances of the radio and how I plan to use it in backcountry situations with the antennas I like, and kind of discuss whether or not that's possible. So we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Again, please like and subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate the support, and enjoy your time with this radio. It's a lot of fun.